So the first innovation, moving to that, it'll be officially launched at the India Toy Fair 2021. It's an attempt at, like I said, redesigning a classic product in the game space. This is the classic product that I was referring to. Yes, it's a dice that has not changed for over 5,000 years. I mean, the classical form, the cube, has sustained itself for over 5,000 years for a reason, because it's minimal. It looks personal. The way each person that has ever played with the dice rolls it is a very intimate experience. It's very dexterous, and it's based on this element of chance, which is something as human beings we have ingrained in us to enjoy. So we asked ourselves, how has it not changed for so many years? What is this beauty in this dice? And how in this era where a mobile phone changes 5 times a day, you have the iPhone 1 to 12 happening so quickly, and you have every new product becoming redundant immediately after its launch. How are classics like these staying so long? And when we realize that, oh, that it is actually a game. It is actually a game device which lends itself to over 11,000 games globally and 22,000 different play patterns. And India is the land of ancient board games, starting from Shakuni Mama throwing those dice to Mahabharat to Chopal, and there are companies like Hail Kholo which are doing enough research on this. So we took upon ourselves the onus to reinvent the classic dice, and here's what we did to it. We call it the Diicii. Diicii is a simple cube again, but this time it's electronic in nature. No, it's not that complex electronic as you might think. It's not going to do those coding or jumping or flying, because that makes it very, very expensive. Those kind of dices have been tried by people. They are sold at 6,000 rupees a piece. Nobody wants to buy them. So keeping all our research that we did in the toy industry, we have attempted to create a dice which comes with an extra play pattern that is as simple as the play pattern already coded in a regular dice. A regular dice has a play pattern of just chance of numbers 1 to 6, but in Diicii, there's an extra layer of a color. Yes, a color. When you roll the Diicii lights up. It doesn't light up immediately, it takes a fraction of a second to light up. So imagine I roll and I get a 5, and it lights up either as red or green. It's not in my hands. It's again another extra element of fate. This red and green is coded in a chip inside, and it's going to be completely random, which means that not only am I getting 1 to 6, in fact, I'm getting 1 to 6 in red and 1 to 6 in green. What does this mean? This means that I'm adding another layer of complexity on the already existing chance. The randomized illumination is going to lead me to create multiple play patterns. Imagine if green would mean go forward and red would mean go backwards. In any board game, let's say Snakes and Ladders, if you roll the Diicii and if you're at 35 and you get a 5, but the color of the dice is red, you got to move back 5 steps. So from 35, you go back to 30. Versus if you're green, you go ahead. So a simple change by bringing in a light has added double the motion in a Snakes and Ladders. You could be on 32 and you could be wanting a red too, because probably on 30 there is a ladder. So in fact, it makes it the world's first cheat-proof dice, because I could be at 98 and wanting a 2. I might put the 2 like that, but I could get a red 2 and bring me to 96, which could have a snake that brings me all the way back to 7. Now this is just Snakes and Ladders. Take it forward and create different games, or marry to a Ludo, where a red could mean moving ahead, but a green could mean moving ahead at twice the speed. Or how about we change the variables and the attributes with the variables? So what if I say I'm team 1 and I'm red team, and you are team 2 and you're green team, which means that if I roll the dice and I get a green color, you get to move. And if you roll the dice, even if you get a red color, I get to move. So it's based on the color and not so much about who rolls it. As a result, it is the idea of exchanged destinies coming in the equation. Think of storytelling, think of forward, backward, think of left, right, east, west. Think of two kids not wanting to drink milk and the mother rolling the dice. If you get red, Rahul has to drink milk. If you get green, Anushka has to drink the milk. And The number of the dice shows you how many sips you need to drink. So things like these, clockwise, anti-clockwise, good, bad, win, lose, are only some of the various potential play patterns possible just by adding one more layer, which is a vector over the scalar 1 to 6. So like I said, the vector behavior gives you forward, backward, east, west, stop, go, pull, push. Assigning meanings lends itself to a lot of storytelling. You know, those games where we play truth and dare. You could say red means truth and green means dare, and you pull out as many cards. You can make your own games. You can teach them mathematics. You can roll two dice, and a green means plus and a red means minus. And if I get, let's say, rolling them and I'm playing the addition game, if I roll the two dice and I get three green and four red, I'll have to say -1, so on and so forth. So assigning to players attack versus defense can use as a beautiful toss. You could replace the typical coin and play with the Diicii. It's the idea of personalization coming in. And so we took this dice and we went to a lot of kids in the age group 8 and above, and we co-created multiple games with them. And kids being kids, they created their own games. In fact, some of them were super smart. And this is this feedback. And together with the Hamleys, we are launching Dice in isolation, called the Diicii in isolation as Diicii. But at the same time, we're also launching 5 games with this. We're launching novel games like Greedy Monkey, right here. I've got all the games with me. We are launching novel games like Greedy Monkey, which exist on a new play pattern, which create a new play pattern of greed, which also teaches a value system of greed, how much greedy should one be, to an Astro Hunt, which marries an age-old classic of memory, where you need to find aliens. We also have reinvented classics like Brain Vita, Snakes and Ladders, and Ludo with 5x the fun, because we've created new play patterns in it. And we've created a new card game called Knockout. So all these 5 have been launched now almost. And by the end of this month, will be out there in the market. So like I said, here are some visuals of how the dice incorporates itself to addition, to subtraction, to mathematical games, to removing and adding elements in a Brain Vita, to memory-based games, and to creating new play patterns, novelty. The concept was proposed and presented at Nuremberg Toy Fair last year, and it received great response in Germany just before the pandemic. And post-pandemic, things kind of slowed down because we were moving vendors and moving countries manufacturing, and then everything was happening online. So in fact, we did a great games launch digitally with the Hamleys internal teams around the world. That received a great response. And now we are going to pitch this product as the key product at India Toy Fair in end of February. So thank you so much for giving me this time. And I would just say, Anayata, welcome back. You can come back and we can now move to the questions. I hope you enjoyed the session. And if you need to contact us, you can take a screenshot of this, or you can just write to me, find me on Instagram or email. Thank you so much. Anayata, all yours.